Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to Raven Space on YouTube if you're not yet subscribed. We have a great show for you today. Actually, it's a pretty sad show. Let me rephrase. But it's a high quality show, but it's sad. We're going to do a game recap of the Ravens versus the Steelers, talk about the winners and losers from that game, and my final takeaways. At the end of the show, I'm going to answer your question from the Raven Space Mailbag. So thank you guys so much for joining me. A special shout out to our Patreon subscribers, because you guys support us. Thank you guys so much for your support. A lot of great things for you guys. You guys even get a discount now at the new and improved Ravens store. So congrats to you guys. We're going to hop right into the first topic and talk about the game recap. So if you guys did not watch the game, and you do not know that the Ravens lost at home to the Steelers 26-9. The game recap is a section where I go and tell you about the feel of the game and how things played out. And in this game, the Ravens, even though the score didn't look as bad as the Jacksonville game, in my opinion, the offense was just as bad. In the very beginning, they did get better toward the end. The defense did everything they could to keep us in this game. I mean, the defense forced 4 and outs after turnovers. They, came up with an interception that wasn't an interception, but it got overturned to be an interception. A lot of big plays they made, and even though they were making these big plays, the Ravens offense seemed like it was their goal to forfeit this game. The Ravens offense was terrible. I mean, there wasn't any protection. The running game was okay, but that pass protection was terrible. Joe Flacco, even when he wasn't in pressure, which was like once this whole game, when he wasn't in pressure, he still was nervous because he knew how bad his offensive line was. He rushed throws. You'll see that he misses Perriman on a walk-in touchdown. He throws it too high. That's called the yips. When the quarterback is, tired of getting hit all game, he starts getting the yips. His mental clock is a little quicker, and that's what happened. Overall, I thought that our defense played okay. Our offense played terrible. Special teams was okay. Justin Tucker missed a field goal, but it was a very, very long field goal, so I'm fine with that. But overall, the Ravens got demolished. We're going to go into the winners and losers, so we can talk in more specifics about players. So let's just do that. Let's just hop right to it. We're going to topic 2, where are the winners and the losers. And first we're going to talk about the winners like we always do. And Alex Collins was a big winner. He was the best running back for the Ravens. He had the most juice. He looked the best. He was jumping the best. He was cutting the best. Had a big 50-yard run, the biggest play of the game for the Baltimore Ravens. But he had another fumble. He has the fumble bug. Okay, he has fumbleitis. He keeps on fumbling. And guys, I'm letting you guys know he's played 3 games and has 2 fumbles. And I'm sure he has like 30 snaps with 2 fumbles, which is atrocious. He needs to get it together. Again, the Ravens had to put him back in the game because Terrence West and Buck Allen were not getting it done on the ground. Alex Collins was, but he fumbled the ball. So he's a winner because he was the best running back, but he was a loser because he had another fumble. Another winner, and it gets harder and harder for me to say this. Brandon Williams was a winner. Marshall Yonder were winners, and they didn't play the game. Brandon Williams showed how valuable he is because the Ravens just can't win the offensive line battle. Again, Ben Roethlisberger was pretty clean this whole game. Le'Veon Bell had over 100 rushing yards. The first time this season he's done that after starting slow. The run game, even Le'Veon Bell backup was running on the Ravens effectively. The Ravens defensive line got pushed around. So we need Brandon Williams, and then we know how bad we need Marshall Yonder because the inside of that Ravens offensive line is terrible. We're going to go to some losers now, and I don't think there were a lot of losers on defense. You could say Marlon Humphrey. They tested Marlon Humphrey, but he won most of his battles. So on defense, I would stay pretty clean of any losers. The only one that I might say is Kamale Correa, because Peanut Ansawar is taking his job. It's over. Peanut played very well this game. Correa is average. Correa is no longer in the competition for this middle linebacker job, so that's done. But losers on offense is a lot. I think Mike Wallace is a loser for dropping a big pass. I mean, a ginormous pass that could have jump-started the Ravens offense. He dropped it. After complaining all this time, you got to catch these passes. I would say that the whole offense, I mean, the offensive line especially, looked terrible. I thought when Ronnie Stanley went down, it was over. I thought, like, man, we really have no good offensive linemen anymore. I thought that Joe Flacco looked terrible. He's a loser. Marty Mornhinweg on 3rd and 15 calling checkdowns looked terrible. I thought the entire offense is a loser, and it even goes to John Harbaugh. John, you got to get something straight. There needs to be some things that happen to fix this team. And now that I'm going into it, let's go into our final takeaways. And then the last takeaway, the final takeaway for me for this game, is that the Ravens need some offensive line help, and their offense is in dire need of change. I mean, they look so bad. Again, this offense cannot win a game. I don't care what the score is. If the score is 7-0 and you need your offense to go tie it up, they cannot do that. If the score is 3-0 and you need your offense to go win this game, they cannot do that. They looked so bad. Again, one big play from the running game from Alex Collins, but other than that, I mean, completions were hard to come by. There was a point where Joe Flacco was feeling it, but he was only feeling. I mean, when I say he was feeling it, I mean every throw he made was a tough throw, which is good, but it's not good because the receivers can't get open. I mean, if you look at the touchdown pass that Joe threw, it's between two defensive players, and that stretch where he went for like a couple of completions in a row, all of them were like so super close coverage. So it's a combination of everybody. The offense needs to be changed. Either you got to get rid of Marty, you got to get rid of Joe, or you got to change your philosophy. Something has to happen here, John, because your offense looks terrible, and this offense is going to get John Harbaugh fired, and I don't think John Harbaugh deserves to be fired. So that's the final takeaway. I seem a little animated, sorry, but we're going to move on to the mailbag question of the day, where you guys can send in your questions to mailbag@therravenspace.com. Again, we love this segment. I love it. And this question comes from Scott, and Scott asks, who was more at fault, Flacco, Marty Mornhinweg, or the O-line? Thank you so much for this question, Scott. And I think right now we're at a point where it's all just melding together. You can't tell if it's Flacco, you can't tell if it's the play calling, and you can't tell if it's just the offensive line. I would start at the offensive line because it's plainly obvious to me that Joe Flacco was nervous and Joe Flacco was not comfortable. So let's start at offensive line. Now let's go to, now, you know, you guys are going to say I defend Joe Flacco too much. I understand that, but we have two great receivers, right? Mike Wallace and Jeremy Maclin. I think I like Ben Watson because Ben Watson right now is our most reliable target. I think you have Perryman that can come on and be strong. Those are four players that, you know, that have to get the ball thrown to them a little bit. Especially Maclin and Wallace, you gotta throw them the ball, and we're not doing it. So I would go Marty, and then I would go Joe. I think if Joe had a better offensive line, he would be better, but I need Joe to be great right now. Aaron Rodgers rises to the occasion in these events. When you have a bad offensive line, Aaron Rodgers is a player that rises to the occasion, and he makes them better. We need Joe to do that, but he's not doing it right now. So I'll go first O-line, second Marty Mornhinweg, and third Joe Flacco for the reason why our offense is inept. And that is the show for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like the new intro, not the new intro, but the new promo and stuff with the shop. Go check it out in the description below. New shop, great items. Check it out. And if you got any comments, let me know. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.
Was